Good Miniature Monday, friends. Rodge here, aka the Wisco Horn Dog. It's a beautiful spring morning. I'm hearing the chirps of birds. There's wild cats roaming the neighborhood. Don't think those birds will pick up on the microphone, but if they do, consider it a nice Good Miniature Monday ambiance. I'm enjoying a tasty cup of Cameron's Scandinavian blend. It's pretty good. It's quite bitter, but I like my coffee like I like my women, as the saying goes. Today we're going to chat about photos and what I've been up to. So first off, over the years I've used different techniques for taking photos of my models. I never really had one thing that really worked. Sometimes I'd use a light box that I constructed. Sometimes I'd just take them at my desk, and I always felt like I was reinventing the wheel each time, kind of starting from scratch, trying to get a good photo of this one particular model. And I got kind of frustrated with that. So recently I kind of sat down and tried to come up with the final photo solution that'll work any time of day. So that's one issue that I had. And it would give me good photos with both my cell phone and this camera that my wife picked up. And basically I wanted a setup so that I could take a photo of a model and I wouldn't have to go in and color balance it or edit anything down. So that was my goal, to make just a really simple photo solution, because I'm taking more photos of my stuff as I go along here. So I just wanted to futz around less with that overall process. So we're gonna take a look at what I set up. It is like a permanent station in the house, and I do recommend that if you can do that setup. But it revolved around this baby right here. This is basically a trash can that I picked up for less than $5, and I was inspired by my actual trash can, which was a little smaller. So this is actually a Target bin of some kind, but you can see it has a nice kind of frosted, any kind of frosted plastic would work for you. So let's take a look at my setup. Here you can see my permanent setup for the Trashcan Lightbox. This was a space that was previously filled with miniatures. So after the 100% paint challenge, I had this additional space to use so I can keep this set up here permanently. A couple things to notice: I do have two lamps. 3 is probably the way to go, but if you just load up on the tin foil, the reflective material, I can see I have some under there as well, that you can get away with it. It creates a nice warm space, you can see. And I do have it propped up there with the encyclopedia of bodybuilding, probably doing me more good that way than it ever did in the gym. I've got a couple of other items here. So these little foam pieces are for setting the camera on, so you have a nice steady surface. And then I also have this brush here. If you're taking really good photos, little bits of dust and crap seem to accumulate on your models, but that is about it. I'm thinking about, I could go back and add some more tinfoil, like wall pieces there, if I wanted to add some more ambiance, but I think this is good. And once you see the photos, I think you'll agree. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at that. I think there's definitely a few different ideas there you could use to improve your own setup. So does it work? Absolutely. Check out this pic of the drone bot I painted up last week, which I didn't realize it would show up so badly on video. So it cost less than $5 for that trash can, and that's probably the cheapest you can do it. You can, I've seen, build them out of cardboard, and I've done that in the past, but the issue is that translucent material, the tracing paper, whatever you're going to use, it's going to cost you a few bucks anyways, and then it's an hour or two dinking around getting it all set up. So that is the cheapest and the easiest way I've found to put that together. I would be curious to see what you guys use for a light box, or what's your setup for taking photos, because I think everybody's got some good ideas. Everything's a little bit different, and we can all learn from each other. So definitely post below, hit me up on Twitter, let me know about that at Wisco Horn Dog. So let's get a look at this week's painting. So I did want to address one item from last time in the rule of 24, where that surly old Welty, my painting nemesis, had a smart-ass comment about if-then in Excel spreadsheets. And to be clear, I'm not really tracking anything anymore in that fashion. I have so few models, so literally there's 5, and I'm probably not going to have much more than 5 at any point here for a while, that I don't need to use a spreadsheet to track anything. All I'm doing is the rule of 24, so 24 hours. I'm moving on to each step. So basically, it worked out really well this week because I would just look at the models and I'm like, well, I assembled them yesterday, so I guess I have to prime them today. It's one day later. And it's easy enough to keep track of that I won't be using a spreadsheet or anything. But I still probably will just keep the overall numbers updated because why the heck not? I've got that already set up. So yeah, how did I do? Well, let's take a look at the photos here. So I've got the Tech B and remote, and both of these were assembled and base coated, and there's no real modifications here. I did put a different head on the Tech B, and then my paint scheme is covering her up a little differently than how the actual model is, and just tried to make it a little more professional looking, although there are still tremendous cans hanging out there. And moving on to the Neoterra Bolt model, this is a limited edition cosplay model, which is hard to get. I won it in a raffle, as I mentioned before. And I actually put it together, primed it, painted it once, and then I kind of stopped because I'm not really sure what I want to do with this model. The Pan-Oceania armor is really similar among the different models. So with a slight variation, you could turn it into a different troop type altogether. And like I said, I won this model, so it's not like I had a plan for it to begin with. But once I put it together, I'm like, well, if I just paint it up as a bolt on its own, I'm not sure that I'm actually going to use it. So I do want to make it something I'm going to use. So I'm going to think about in my list what I could turn it into, either just with paint scheme, or it's not too late to add a conversion to it by any stretch of the imagination. We are gonna try to get that sorted by next week. My Bushido Gremlin put this bastard together, but he's actually missing his his darn right hand there. It should be on the ground, kind of holding himself up. The model itself is really cool. It's actually huge. I don't know if this is like a giant gremlin or what, but he's pretty massive there. It's a beefy fellow. He's really cool. I did contact Bushido and the makers of that. I can't think of what their actual name of their company is right now, but they did get back to me and they will be sending me a hand in the mail. So hopefully I receive that soon, sometime this week. I can put them together and get them back on track. And then the last thing was the Aquila Guard for Infinity. And this dude actually, also he had a mangled shoulder plate that is really, it had some pock marks and divots on it. And normally maybe I would try to work through that with some green stuff, but it's pretty well mangled, and like the top part is kind of missing here. And so I contacted Corvus Belli to see if I could get a replacement for that. So I haven't heard back from them yet, and we'll see how that goes. This is another model, again, that was given to me, which is cool, but I don't really have a plan for it. So we will see what I hear back. Hopefully they can just send me a new arm piece and I can put it together. But the last one is the what the heck is it? The Gardo di Assalto, and this is the old style model, so I'm not even interested in putting it together. So I'm just gonna reduce him to bits. His multi-rifle and the HMG gun that he has look pretty similar to the current edition sculpts, so I might be able to use those for bits and maybe use his head on something, but he's so tiny, his proportions are kind of strange, so I won't be putting him together. That Oxbot, I do have a special plan for, because those are the current Oxbots, and it doesn't look like those will be replaced anytime soon. So that is a top secret plan I'm working on. Currently it's in bits. I've chopped it into a couple different pieces. The issue is I don't like the kind of roller balls underneath them, and they're kind of weird. It looks like there's like 5 different layers on top of the ball, building it up, and they're kind of weird. So I have a little plan in place to have an alternate means of locomotion, and I'm actually chatting with a buddy who's helping me out because I would like to make a few of them. So I'm seeing what kind of legs or tank tracks or something like that I could put underneath these aux bots here to kind of get them to fit the Yellow Jacket theme as well. So that is what's going on with the 5 models I said I'd work on last week. So going forward, I'm just going to get that bolt converted. That's my goal for next Monday. And then I would like to get both the Tech B and the remote hit with a black wash. That's the next step I take on the Yellow Jackets. And then I would like to get one of them completely painted by next week. That would be awesome. So that is going to be it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this Good Miniature Monday. As mentioned before, tell me how you do your photos. I'd be curious to hear about that because it took me quite a while to get that whole thing set up, and I'm really happy I did it now, but I am curious about other kinds of photo arrangements and if there's any improvements I could make. But I think that is about it. Thanks for watching, friends. Like and favorite this shit. Tell your pals out there about the Good Miniature Monday. And if you have a painting goal yourself for next Monday, please post below and join me for this weekly painting challenge. Well, not a challenge per se, but we're challenging ourselves and we're kind of holding ourselves accountable. So I would love if other folks out there wanted to chime in about their paint goals for the upcoming week. So thanks for watching. Keep on hobby horn dogging, and I'll see you guys next time.